There's the head coach of the Wolverines, former NBA two-time champ, Mark Madsen. Aggies in the black, Wolverines in the white. Aggies looking to bounce back after a Friday loss for the third straight week. They have played well on Saturdays in conference play. 69-66 final yesterday. The Wolverines just made more winning plays than the Aggies did down the stretch. Utah Valley with the first offensive possession. J.J. Overton missed sometime late yesterday because of an injury, but he's going to play tonight. He gets the first field goal attempt, and guess who grabs the rebound? It's Fardaws Amac. Backdoor to Evan Cole, and he banks it in for two.
Well, he gets a rebound and an assist on the first possession, big Amac, and so not a good sign, not a good omen, let's put it that way.
Woodbury, Overton, Neild, Amac, and Cole, the starters for Mark Madsen. Pull-up jumper for Jabari Rice is way short. It's loose. Good hustle for Henry, scooped up by Blaze Neild, the transfer from BYU. Wolverines averaging 77 points per game this season. Near steal for Henry. He does get the steal as it's intercepted by Gilliard. A good save for Henry on the sideline. The Aggies really struggled from the field yesterday. Only shot 38%. That's a clean look for Henry. Cleared by Amac. Tillman trying to force a jump ball, and Amac now has 2 rebounds. Neild runs the point for Utah Valley. Floats it down low to Amac. Extra pass for their best three-point shooter on the floor. That's Trey Woodbury. Evan Gilliard went flying. And this will be a foul on Evan Cole. I'm assuming that's why Gilliard went flying down to the hardwood. We'll see.
Yeah. And it's an interesting move by Chris Jans is double-teaming Amac when he catches the ball in the post and sort of daring them to beat the Aggies from 3. It's an interesting move because Amac's he's a good passer. He's not as we saw yesterday.
The Aggies did limit Amac yesterday. He did turn it over 6 times, so the Aggies did force him into a handful of turnovers. Johnny McCants will hand it off to Jabari Rice. Tillman was rolling. High arcing floater, a good one for Rice, and he has the first 2 for the Aggies tonight.
Nice soft touch by Jabari Rice going to his left, but using the right hand off the glass.
Wolverines yesterday from the field, 57%. They were sizzling the entire evening. Now, Chris Jans did say in his postgame press conference last night, Russ, he said, yeah, we struggled offensively, but we missed way too many late-game defensive assignments. The Aggies had a lot of breakdowns defensively in the final 3 minutes or so.
Well, thank goodness Chris Jans watched the tape because I that's one of the things I don't miss about coaching, but I know he's a stickler for really digging in the way Lou Henson was and seeing what the Aggies did wrong.
Rice brings the Aggies out of the backcourt. Henry swings it for Johnny McCants. Around the horn it goes to Henry. Low-scoring start in the first 2 minutes plus. McCants a good look from 3, and he splashes it in. That's his big improvement from a couple years ago to now.
Yep, and when he gets his feet set, he's very good at it.
Was only 1 for 5 yesterday. McCants is shooting 35% for the season from 3. Woodbury works his way in the paint. Good ball movement to Blaze Neild, who's not a great three-point shooter. They'll count that as a 2. A long 2 for Neild. Tillman's calling for it. He's posting up on Amac. The Aggies were able to get Amac in foul trouble yesterday, and they looked crafty initially, but a little too much craftiness there from Donnie Tillman.
Yeah, he's pretty versatile. He can make the 15-footer or an open 3, but there's something about having Amac looking down on you that might make you hesitate a little bit, and that's what happened to Donnie Tillman there.
Is it the 6'11" size, Russ, you think?
How about the beard? The beard is intimidating.
Too, yeah.
You know, he's thick in the chest. I mean, he's a big, strong guy.
And Amac defensively the best shot blocker in the conference. Neild lost it. A rare turnover by him. He has the second best assist to turnover ratio in the country. How about that move for Gilliard, but he couldn't quite finish. Cold start again for the Aggies from the field, and Donnie Tillman having some issues defending Fardaw's Amac. He's a handful.
It just takes up a lot of ground there, and Donnie Tillman did everything he could to get around him, and it wasn't enough.
First foul on Tillman, number 2 on the Aggies. We are 4 minutes in El Paso. Tonight's game is presented by U.S. Bank. U.S. Bank, a proud supporter of Aggie Athletics and a proud sponsor of tonight's Hall of Fame game. Learn more at usbank.com. Wolverines basketball out of the timeout. A foul, or Donnie Tillman before the timeout, his first personal. Aggies are still going with their starters here. Overton to Blaze Neal. Working around Tillman, he fumbled it in the corner, and he throws it away. That's 2 early turnovers on a sure-handed point guard, Blaze Neal.
Yes, and there's a real energy to the Aggies defense. They're swarming, they're helping, they're switching and recovering. And look at Jabari all over the poor Utah Valley guy.
Neal also had 2 turnovers yesterday. Really good assist to turnover numbers. 59 helpers, 14 turnovers coming in. Second best in the country entering the week. The Aggies trying to find an offensive rhythm, and that won't do it. Donnie Tillman not on the same page as Evan Gilliard there on the perimeter. Are they just not in sync right now, Russ?
Yeah, I think one of the dangers, as good as Donnie Tillman is and C.J. Roberts is, Chris Jans's offense has always been designed to share the ball and move it like the old proverbial hot potato. And when someone holds the ball too long, it can really disrupt things. Oh, that looked like a travel to me.
Now, last night you could say the Aggies struggled offensively, which they did at times, as Neal misfires from 3. But they have won games like that in the past, Russ, because of their defense.
That's right. That's right. And that was, I would have liked to seen the film with Chris Jans. It's the hardest thing to do, to watch a film. When the team loses, to go watch the film is really painful. And I know for Chris Jans to watch it immediately, had to watch it immediately after the game. How else could you get a gauge on it? And it's the hardest thing to do, to watch yourself be no good and then improve.
That was a good sign for Henry on the other end. He did not attempt a 2-pointer yesterday, but he gets one early on today, and now he grabs the miss. No numbers for Gilliard. He attacks anyway, and he finishes with his strong left hand.
Well, that's where Gilliard's very good. He looked like he was going to go full speed, and then he delayed a little bit and let things open up. He's got a great head for the game that way. Very sort of typical Chicago point guard, when he knows where the gas pedal is and he knows where the brakes are.
Step back 3 for Woodbury with bodies flying everywhere. Offensive rebound for the Wolverines. Overton not quite as good as he was yesterday. Might be the ankle that he injured late yesterday. The Aggies reverse it to Wilfred Lakai. He was a spark off the bench shooting the basketball last night. He catches it low block. How about that right-handed hook that swirls off for Lakai? A pretty good move, and official whistle is blown. And I'm not sure what that was about from our official, Daryl Galinas. Did you catch that, Russ?
No, but well, I missed it too. Yeah, they announced it on the PA, but it's a little echoey since there's no fans here.
Interesting. Well, either way, it's Utah Valley basketball, so it doesn't change anything. Good officiating crew tonight. Winston Stith, Daryl Galinas, Mike O'Neill. And there is Tim Fuller, straight off the bench. Weber State transfer making an impact.
Well, he did. I think he was looking to pass the ball, but he got Aggie sort of dared him to take it at the basket, and he did a good job with it.
We'll see if the Aggies can find more production from Will McNair, who has a big mismatch here. That's Jaden McClanahan, who was defending him. Skip out goes to Gilliard, and he connects from 3. I think it's a bench issue, Russ. the call earlier because it just happened again.
Oh, interesting.
And Winston Stith blew his whistle and told the Wolverines bench to sit down. I guess they were too close to the floor. I'm not sure. But
yeah, beautiful pass by Big Philly, Will McNair. Philly to Chicago, I think that was.
McClanahan running floater. He had a good floor game yesterday.
He did. He's the Independence Junior College transfer.
12 transfers on the roster this year for Mark Madsen. 7 of them are Division I transfers.
One of the things that his team, I think, makes obvious is there is a lot of talent in Utah. It's not a huge population, but there's just good high school players in Utah. And that's been going on, of course, for years.
Chris Jansen not happy with that pass there from Jabari Rice. It led to an Aggie turnover there at third.
Well, that's one of the things I've noticed about Chris Jansen is there's no babying the leading scorer of the team. It doesn't matter if you're the leading scorer, or even if Tennessee Owens gets in the game, you're going to get an earful if you don't do the right thing. We might get an earful too. We've got to watch what we're doing.
You said that before. You stay on your toes with Chris Jansen on the sideline.
I do.
Latrey Darthur now 3 for 3 for the weekend from 3.
Well, Aggies are having tough decisions to make about when to double set. Now, AMAC's not in the game now, so they should be able to spread the defense out a little bit.
Will McNair with the catch. Curls and catches. Tough angle there for McNair, and he can't float it in.
Didn't quite have his balance. It wasn't a bad shot, but it wasn't his best shot either.
Will McNair did not play a whole lot yesterday. We thought this would be a good weekend for him with some talented big men for Utah Valley. High-low feed to Fuller, fumbles the catch and then recovers. And Tim Fuller has 4. He only averages 2 points per game.
Well, just really exploiting Wilfred Lakai, who's just not as thick and strong as Fuller or Evan Cole.
Nine minutes in, Wolverines ahead by 1. Roberts working the pick and roll with McNair. It was poked away by Darthard. Aggies only have 7. Gilliard's near midcourt. He has to pull up from 3. Offensive rebound for Lakai, and a foul is called on Darthard. So Wilfred Lakai attacking the offensive glass. Aggies rebounding well early. They trailed by 1. 10:51 left. First half from Eastwood High School in El Paso. Adam Young and Russ Bradford back with you in El Paso. A 7-0 run for Utah Valley over the previous 2 minutes. That's after the Aggies led 12-6. Now it's the Wolverines ahead by 1. 5 for Evan Gilliard to pace the Aggies, and 4 off the Wolverines bench for Tim Fuller. They have a lot of big men at their disposal this year, Russ.
It's not just that, but they're big, strong fellas. They're thick and tough guys. And as good as the Aggies' big men are, like Wilfred Lakai is a little bit thinner, and Donnie Tillman's a little bit shorter. And it just makes it difficult. There's just size matchups that Utah Valley presents.
Mark Madsen speaking to Daryl Galinas. Speaking to him nicely, I might add.
Well, of course.
Everything I've heard, Mark Madsen is the ultimate gentleman.
Well, he wasn't. He was a tough fella.
He was.
They don't call him Mad Dog for no reason. Yeah, he was tough and aggressive on the court. We see, looks like Utah Valley in a 1-3-1.
And it's with Evan Colt ahead of the zone, which gave the Aggies fits in yesterday's game. That's a tough shot, 13 feet away for C.J. Roberts.
Yeah, that's where he was good yesterday. Is he can penetrate into the defense, and he's thick in the shoulders. Makes it difficult for the defense to catch up with him once he penetrates.
We felt like last night C.J. Roberts really found some confidence. Kalen Williams did in stretches as well. Evan Cole is now 0 for 3 this weekend from 3. Here is Kalen Williams, the Western Nebraska Community College transfer, firing a 3 as Lakai follows the miss. Bounces off the defender, no call, surprisingly, but he still finishes.
Yeah, good. That's a good sign that he can get bumped and still make the shot. I thought he might have got bumped, got fouled there as well.
He might be stronger than you think, Russ.
That could be, because Jabari Rice certainly is.
Wolverines are only 1 for 5 from 3. Lone make came earlier from Darthard, who's in the near corner right now. They reverse it to Darthard. Transfer from McCook Community College in Nebraska, and he runs over the defender, C.J. Roberts, who's doing his best Sean Buchanan impression.
Well, that's right, and all 3 referees had that. They all made the same call at the same time, so they must have thought that was pretty obvious.
C.J. Roberts just beat him to the spot, Russ.
He's plenty quick, and it really helps. It's an underrated thing for a smaller guard to be thick and strong like that. But it really helps him get to the basket, helps him defend.
Will McNair wants it. Right back to Williams. The Aggie offense a little stagnant here. They get to work with 10 to shoot. McNair's calling for it. Henry will bounce it down low to him. Will's going to work on Amac with the left hand. Missed it wide right. Saved by Roberts, and the Aggies have a fresh 20. Dribble drive for Roberts. Off balance floater. McNair couldn't quite snatch it in. It's scooped up by Fuller.
Well, McNair battling Amac right there for he nearly out-rebounded the nation's leading rebounder. So Will McNair, I think he just keeps improving by little bits and pieces.
McClanahan fouled before his way to the rim. Winston Stith says it was near the elbow. This is an interesting combination right now for the Aggies, and now McCants will come in for McNair. For a while, the Aggies had McNair, Henry, Lakai, Roberts, and Williams. And now Jabari Rice will come in. Chris Jans is still looking for bench production. Marcus Watson did not play yesterday. Jason King is out for the year. He was a bench guy early on this year. That's Colby Leifson, a three-point specialist, transfer from BYU. He's an older sophomore. He served a 2-year mission in Brazil a few years ago. Williams has it poked away. Amac leading the break. Bounces for Leifson. He'll fire a 3 in transition. That's what he's in there to do. Well, Colby Leifson, his 11th made 3.
Wow. Boy, he didn't hesitate on that one, did he? After missing the one before that. I think he thinks he can make them.
Russ, he has not attempted a 2-pointer this year. He is in there to shoot 3s and shoot 3s only. McCants thought about a 3. Williams, hard move to the rim, dump off to McCants. Strong finish for the redshirt senior from Las Cruces.
Well, good decision by Johnny McCants not to try to dunk it in that case. You know, Amac would have made it a little bit difficult with his size and girth, but nice series for the Aggies there.
I think C.J. Roberts will just face guard Leifson there in the right corner. This is Woodbury left corner. And that's a blocking foul, it looks like, on Jabari Rice. Yep, it will be. Rice with his first number 4 on the Aggies. The Aggies shooting 47%. Wolverines at 44%. Aggies by a pair in El Paso. What do you need to see right now from this Aggie offense, Russ?
Well, I just think the Aggies do better when the ball moves, when there's less dribbling and more ball movement. One of the things I think that it's hard for young players to get in their head is that if they're going to penetrate, it has to be after ball movement because it loosens the defense. You're not just, at this level, you're not going to be able to pass it to the wing and just go penetrate. The ball has to move from side to side and then penetrate. Sean Buchanan understood that. The Aggie teams in the past understood that. But this year's Aggies seem to, sometimes the ball dies and they stop moving the ball. Just my opinion. I don't know if I think Chris Jans would agree with me. I've watched his teams play long enough that I think that he would agree with me.
Your opinion means something, Russ.
No, it doesn't mean, it means very little.
Fardaws Amac trying to float it in. Foul is on the ground. There was a fight underneath for the rebound, and that one is called on the Aggies, so it stays with Utah Valley.
Well, between Tim Fuller and Fardaws Amac, it's like an advertisement for the weight room. You know, look how thick and strong Tim Fuller is, and he's, you know, plays hard and he's smart, and he's really causing, you know, he's come off the bench. He's not even a starter, and he's causing all kinds of problems for New Mexico State.
Trey Woodbury, he's trying to float it in, can't do so. Big rebound for the 6'2" Kalen Williams. Roberts rises up, rushed that three. Chris Jans did not like that shot. Ill-advised from Roberts. Good post denial by Johnny McCants. Just wouldn't allow it to get down low to Amac.
Great hustle by McCants there. And Amac and McCants are going at it, but it's totally clean, no cheap shots. They're just both working really hard down there.
Woodbury kicks it outside for the left-hander McClanahan. High rebound again. That's 2 in a row for Kalen Williams.
Well, one thing that's also happening to the Aggies is you're facing a team this big. It really helps if the guards would help out, and they've done it tonight.
Rice defended by McClanahan. Good screen for Johnny McCants to get Jabari free.
Well, and I talked about, you know, Aggies not over dribbling, and one thing about Jabari Rice is he's so efficient. I mean, if everyone could run their business and home life and classrooms as efficiently as Jabari Rice runs his game, the world would be a better place.
Well said. McClanahan steps out of bounds. Good defense for the Aggies there. Has the defense been better? I know it's still early.
I think so. I think Kalen Williams gave him a good boost, and here comes Evan Gilliard, who's been a terrific defender in his 2 years for the Aggies. And it's something we haven't seen with a Chris Jans team in his time at New Mexico State. He's been, you know, he's been meteoric in his rise to prominence, and this is the first time his teams have struggled. I think we're learning a lot about how they'll react, and I still think they're going to be difficult to contend with in the WAC tournament,
especially if they can stay healthy. It might come down to who avoids a pause. There's a 15-foot jumper after a brief pause by Donnie Tillman. He says, why not?
Well, he wanted to pass it, but they sort of dared him to shoot it, and which is a mistake when Donnie Tillman's got the ball.
Quiet start for J.J. Overton, who has been scoreless, and you have to think maybe he's still hampered by the ankle injury that he suffered late yesterday. Extra pass to Overton, who doesn't shoot many threes. He does shoot a lot of pull-ups, though. And now he's 0 for 4 from the field, and it's wiped off the window by Big Will McNair.
Overton might have got bumped a little bit on that one.
Let's see if Rice will use the ball screen from McNair. He will. Slithers around the defender. Stays patient. Gilliard to the rim. No continuation, no shot. It's on the ground. It's foul number 4 on Utah Valley. I'm with you, Russ. I believe that down the stretch here in a couple of weeks, this Aggie basketball team still has the chance to be very good in Vegas in March.
Well, one of my favorite things to do is to listen to Chris Jans talk to you after when you guys watch film. I mean, I think he's a real basketball savant. And, you know, every team is a puzzle and has to be figured out, and what worked last year might not work this year. And I mean, for the players and the coaches, and I think the Aggies are still figuring it out under difficult circumstances.
They have followed the game plan well today. That's a good look, though, for Woodbury. Doesn't make him pay. Wolverines now 2 for 9 from 3. Overton spins away from the defender, and he's finally on the scoring sheet. Yesterday, Overton scored 18 on a very efficient 8 for 10 from the field.
Yeah, and it's that second shot that got the Aggies there. And Overton is reaching for his hand again. Remember, he jammed his finger yesterday, and we thought maybe it had come out of socket. He's calling for the tape again over there.
It'll be Aggie ball when we come back from break. NM State ahead by 4 in El Paso. Our entire Floodstream Productions crew, led by Joe Pashley. Our technical director tonight is Forrest Sandifer. Our great producer is Michelle Godwin. Thank you for joining us. The Aggies looking to get back on track after a 3-point loss in last night's series opener here in El Paso. And Donnie Tillman couldn't quite finish, but he's going to shoot two. And Jaden McClanahan says, me? Is the foul on me?
Well, this is the classic way to attack that 1-3-1, is to go right at the low post from the top of the key, because it forces the baseline guy to make a decision that he doesn't want to make. And the Aggies, I'll tell you, it's an interesting 1-3-1 though, with Evan Cole, who's so active and aggressive up top, and what a wingspan. I mean, and you've got Evan Gilliard going against him. He's giving away nearly a foot. So it's an interesting defense for, and the Aggies haven't seen anything like it this year.
Where do you feel like Donnie Tillman has helped this program the most this year?
Well, remember Big Ivan Aure-Koiche was so versatile. He could score in every different way, and Tillman brings a little bit of that. He's not quite as big as the big Spaniard was, and not quite as good yet, but maybe he will be by the time the WAC tournament comes along.
Tillman, one of those big transfers, came in from UNLV, began his career at Utah, was the 6th man of the year for the Utes. How about that call? 3 seconds in the lane. You don't see that very often nowadays.
Well, players have gotten away from camping out there, but evidently one of the Wolverines was. Who was it? Was it on AMAC?
I believe it was AMAC, yeah. Yep. Marcus Watson, number 14 in black. He checks in for the first time this weekend. Keep an eye on him.
Last time he was in, he gave me goosebumps sitting right here.
Had a windmill jam. He had 7 points late 2 weeks ago against CBU. Was a top 50 recruit. He was a 4-star, and he has it stripped away at midcourt right out of the gates.
Well, tough spot for him to be in the middle of the zone press, and you got to get it and go when you've got it. But I think he was a little hesitant to come in and just try and take over. But that was, when you're in the middle of the zone press, you've got to do it.
Evan Cole thinking about a three. McNair was all over him. Good defense for Will McNair, who recovers and gets back to Cole. An outstanding sequence for Will McNair.
Exactly. I was just going to say the same thing. He kept his feet. He had good balance. He didn't foul. You know, you rarely see Will McNair do something where, he rarely makes a silly mistake. And that is really valuable for a big guy to play mistake-free is really important.
Rice will fire a three way short. McClanahan was cherry-picking. Overton couldn't find him. Takes it all the way to the rim, and he scores, going 94 feet.
And not even banking it. He just sort of did. The Wolverines like the little running floater, the sort of the running one-hander, and Overton did it again there. Now they're in a different zone.
Mark Madsen has really switched up defenses this weekend. Rice, high post for McNair. He's not used to that area of the floor. Gilliard, a pump fake and drive all the way to the rim, uncontested.
Well, that's again where Gilliard is very good. He's explosive, and then when it's time to get under control, he gets under control. Think of the times you've seen Evan Gilliard get an offensive foul. He almost never gets an offensive foul because, like all the great Chicago point guards, he knows where he's got the gas pedal and the brakes, and he doesn't confuse them.
Jabari Rice, yes, sir. Aggies ahead by 9. Timeout, Mark Madsen.
Well, quick burst by the Aggies, and it happened when Marcus Watson didn't do so much there, but it's good to have him in the game as a young guy when things are going good for the Aggies. It'll leave him in the game for a while, as we see one of the purest shooters in America right there.
Jabari Rice now has 7, a quiet 7 for Evan Gilliard. Those two players matching team high honors. The Aggies have played a little bit better offensively, probably so far, Russ, but where they're winning this game right now is on defense.
Yes, which is no surprise when Chris Jans is at the helm. It's been really stingy, it's been smart, it's been aggressive, and it's frustrated the Wolverines. Madsen looks like he can still play a little bit. Let's just keep an eye on him and make sure he doesn't check in the game. He looks looks like he's in great shape.
Coming up at halftime, we will introduce the 4 new inductees into the U.S. Bank Aggie Hall of Fame, as announced earlier this week. Neil McCarthy, Amber Simpson, Shirley Anku, and Simone Bach will have a video feature for those 4 new inductees into the U.S. Bank Aggie Hall of Fame. Long 2 for Cole. And Amack might have been over the back. He was. Johnny McCants has been pretty good down there today.
Yes, and he's been smart and steady. I worry about Johnny McCants. You know, he's the local guy, and he carries the weight of the Aggies' fortunes on his shoulders. But he's gotten better and better every year, and he's been a big game player. Time after time, he's made big plays for the Aggies.
And now some token pressure from Utah Valley. The Aggies break it easily. Watson will stay in here in the final minute plus. You would like to see him make a play here, Russ, to get some confidence back after his confidence was sky high 2 weeks ago. Watson's on the right wing. He catches from McCants. A 3, that's a good look for Watson, way short. Trying to follow the miss, rebounded by McClanahan. He pushes all the way to the rim for the Wolverines, and he's fouled by Jabari Rice, who gets rolled up on the baseline.
Well, and Chris Jans is really upset on the sideline, because that's another time Wolverine took the ball 90 feet without the defense stopping him, and that is a big no-no in the Chris Jans system. We're not going to let a guy dribble at 90 feet and get a shot.
That could have been dangerous. Watch Jabari Rice get rolled up on the very end. And he's been dealing with injuries a few different times this year.
Well, he's like, you remember the boxer Tommy Hearns, who was so thin, but
sure.
Just the Detroit Hitman, I think was his nickname. He's a little bit like that, where he's wiry strong, the way Tommy Hearns was, and he's a better shooter than Tommy Hearns.
I hope so.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm going way back there. That's probably too old of a reference for our viewing audience.
One more for Jaden McClanahan. And the Wolverines are within 7. They're trying to finish this first half strong after a rough start to the half. McCants dribbles out of a double team. Might have gotten away with the travel there. UVU bench sure thought so. 10-second difference, game clock, shot clock. Evan Gilliard, dribble drive, working on McClanahan. He's blocked by McClanahan. That will stay with the Aggies.
Well, the Aggies looked a little confused. They changed defense mid-possession there, Utah Valley, and the Aggies took a second to realize that they were man-to-man.
And now Chris Jans will call a timeout, and he will draw something up. That's good defense there from McClanahan. 2 smaller guards going at it.
Now I'll make a prediction here. As you know, I'm often wrong, but I'll bet that Madsen changes defenses again. They'll be in a zone here this time, and that will he's just the little cat and mouse game that goes on with Chris Jans and Mark Madsen. It was going on all last night.
And now the Aggies only have 3 on the timer, so they have to hurry when they get the ball in.
That's right. And so if it's not a man-to-man defense, I think let's see what happens here. Maybe they'll show a zone, show man-to-man for a second, and then go zone.
The Aggies come out of the timeout with Tillman, Gilliard, Henry, McCants, and Watson.
No, they're man-to-man, and this is where Chris Jans is very good with these drawing up these last-second plays. I'm surprised. Let's see what happens.
Henry will trigger, gets it in for Tillman. Long 2, gets rim. Put back try for Marcus Watson. There you go. Using his athleticism on the putback attempt, and now he'll shoot 2.
Well, I don't think that was the play for Marcus Watson to get the putback, but he bailed me out because I thought this is where Chris Jans is very, very good with sort of a sneaky play with a few seconds on the clock, but Marcus Watson bails out the Aggies here.
Just the second collegiate free throw attempt for Watson, who is from Beaufort, Georgia. Transfer from Oklahoma State, former top 50 recruit.
There's a real Georgia flavor to the game, with a couple of the Utah Valley guys being from Georgia or transferring from schools in Georgia. Mercer and Georgia Tech for Evan Cole and Amack from Mercer.
And then Colby Leifson from Sewanee, Georgia.
That's right. What's going on?
I don't know. 10 seconds left for McClanahan. Gilliard picks him up. J.J. Overton with 2 seconds. That's a good look, and he gets it.
Yep.
As the horn sounds. 6 for Overton, and quite the finish to that first half for Utah Valley. 2-possession ball game here at Eastwood High School. Julio Lopez, their athletics coordinator, and everybody here at Eastwood High School, thank you so much for helping out the Aggies during these trying times due to state restrictions.
Maybe they could change the colors, though, for if it happens again next year. It doesn't really fit the blue and gold.
Well, Russ, I hope it doesn't happen again next year. I hope the Aggies are back in the Pan Am Center as Johnny McCants travels on the first Aggie offensive possession here in half 2.
Talk about a swarming defense. A pretty great help by Utah Valley there.
The Aggies trying to go to 3-5 in the WAC. Wolverines looking for a comeback win, trying to go to 7-2. Ball movement to Blaze Neild, who made a long 2 in the first half. This one is a 3 for the transfer from BYU.
That really helps his team when Neild, who's not a great three-point shooter, but when he makes that one to start the half, it forces the Aggies to rethink the strategy.
That's only his 13th made 3 this year. Rice is staying patient, finds his way to the rim. Awkward angle, and he hits the bottom side of the cylinder. Wolverines lead pass to Amac. Fardaws Amac, his first 2. He only scored 6 yesterday.
Well, that's actually one of the best things I've seen Amac do. He's got huge potential, but to outrun everybody on New Mexico State and get a layup at his size is really impressive.
The Aggies typically over the years, they come out of the gate strong in half 2, and that's not been the case in this one. Outscored by UVU 5-0 in the half. Henry airballs the teardrop. Tillman can't stick it in, and Amac grabs rebound number 6. Evan Cole looking high-low for Amac, defended well by McCants. Now Overton leans into the defender, and that's a charge on J.J. Overton. He lowered the shoulder.
Well, good position by Jabari Rice, but boy, he just keeps taking a beating. Jabari Rice, the Houston native. Boy, right in the chest and right on the rump. But yeah, he's a marked man, Jabari Rice, as the Aggies' leading returning scorer from the great teams of the last couple of years.
Yeah, now they might review this.
Technical foul by number 22, J.J. Overton, his second team.
They're not going to review it. That's a technical on J.J. Overton. I didn't really see him react a whole lot, Russ.
I didn't either. And there's Ronnie Price, who was in the NBA about as long as Jerry Sloan was. Maybe the best player in Utah Valley history that had a 13-year NBA career. I didn't see it either.
First free throw attempt for Henry in 6 games. Just his 14th of the season upcoming. And Henry makes the Wolverines pay. Now, yesterday, Evan Cole was teed up. Today, it's Overton.
And a completely different crew of referees, of course.
Stith, Galinis, and O'Neill here today. Mike O'Neill, part of that O'Neill family tree of officials, correct?
I didn't realize it. Yeah, he had the mask on before the game. That's right. I usually go talk Chicago. We argue about where the best hot dogs are.
Portillo's? Is that the best hot dog place?
That's what a lot of people think, but we don't have time to discuss all that today.
Henry misfires. Portillo's is awfully good.
That's the popular choice. I'll admit it. They don't know how to say Portillo's. We know how to say it in New Mexico.
Amac, awkward angle. He can't finish. Aggies lead the break right back to Gilliard. Good decision, Evan Gilliard. And he will get 2 free throws out of it. Evan Gilliard passed up the 3 Russ, got to the rack, and now he will shoot a pair.
Well, again, did you see the little hesitation, the little stop and go? He's crafty.
Speaking of Chicago, Evan Gilliard from Chicago. Transfer from UTEP, played his high school ball at Simeon.
Also the Wolverines. So it's probably confusing to Evan tonight. The good Wolverines and the bad Wolverines.
Is there a high school basketball program in Chicago with more history than Simeon?
Well, it would certainly be in the top. You know, of course, Marshall High School, where Sean Harrington went, is a great one, and King High School during the 80s and 90s dominated for a long time. But yeah, and of course it's always shifting in Chicago, like everywhere else too.
Whitney Young had a good run too, correct?
Whitney Young did, and that's where Michelle Obama went. It's one of the top academic schools. And you know, Westinghouse was a powerhouse in the 80s and 90s, of course.
Nield will get a ball screen from Cole. Defended well by the Aggies. It's McCants and Amack matching up right here. Double team comes from Henry. Forcing Amack into a decision. 2 to shoot. Darthard has to shoot it. He doesn't know. Cole got it off, but that's a shot clock violation. Best defensive stand of the night for the Aggies.
Really good, and you know, they're double teaming Amack and forcing him to get rid of it, and then hoping their rotations their quick rotations can beat the ball movement, and it worked perfectly that time.
Once again last night, Chris Giant said in his post-game press conference, he said, we did not follow the game plan down the stretch. We had blown assignments defensively, and that led to the loss. They have followed the game plan, it seems like, well, here tonight. One thing you do know, Chris Giant and his staff will give his team a really good game plan going in every single night. You know that for sure.
Oh no, just between, you know, with Casey Owens, David Anwar, James Miller, they've got quite a staff. It's quite a brain trust.
Corey Barker as well, one of the newer assistants. Yep.
Sorry, boy, don't tell Corey I forgot him. He,
straightaway 3 connects. Trey Woodbury.
Well, that's where the double team is risky. Is you've got to get to Woodbury's the best shooter of the starters.
This is what he did yesterday. Slow start to first 20 plus, and then finished really well. High post, nobody's there with Rice. Reverse layup for Jabari. Stayed patient around the best shot blocker in the WAC.
That's right, and it didn't seem as nervous as I would have been.
Pressure zone here for the Aggies. Is this a 1-3-1, Russ?
Well, I can't tell yet, but whatever it is, it's confused the Wolverines. Let's hope they're more confused than I am.
Evan Gilliard, dribble drive to the rim. Can't finish. Tillman looking for the foul, and he can't quite grab hold of the basketball. Evan Cole fighting with McCants in the interior. Amack exchanges to Nield. Darthard's a good shooter, and Rice was all over him. 110 to shoot. Woodbury, long distance again. That one's shallow. Trailer is Rice, a pull-up jumper. There's Amack blocking it. Henry's open. He'll think about it, he'll shoot it, and he probably thought about it too much.
Yeah, Aggies, they look a little bit out of sync there. Just got confusing with they looked a little bit unsure of themselves.
Amack, right-handed hook, snatched by Tillman. And now Chris Giants will call out the play, and Evan Gilliard will reset, and he initiates the offense. They're looking for McCants, matching up with Cole. Johnny going to work. Gets blocked by the cylinder, and Cole grabs the rebound.
Cole played that perfectly. Really smart, used his body, didn't leave his feet. You know, he denied McCants the real position that he wanted. I'm really impressed with Evan Cole.
And that breaks a scoreless drought on the slam for Cole. Scoreless drought, almost 3 minutes for the Wolverines until then.
And he can get up off the floor, obviously.
The Aggie scoreless drought is hovering around 2.5 minutes right now. Wing to wing to McCants in the face of Cole, and he parries it. And those two guys are going back and forth, jawing at each other on the hardwood.
Are they? I don't see them. I can't tell if they're talking to each other or talking to the rest of the team.
I'm pretty confident they're talking at each other. And they're doing it right now. They're disguising it pretty well, though, Russ.
Uh-oh.
Cole says, anything you can do, I can match it.
Well, he might be right. As good as Johnny McCants is, I'm telling you, Evan Cole is a player.
Johnny's thinking heat check, Russ.
Yeah, you don't want it to get too personal.
Henry from the corner, yes, sir.
There, that's it's a group effort. Good ball movement by the Aggies there.
That is well said. You do not want it to get too personal. 42-36 Aggies in El Paso. Tonight's game is presented by U.S. Bank. U.S. Bank is a proud supporter of Aggie Athletics and a proud sponsor of tonight's Hall of Fame game. Learn more at usbank.com. The Aggies inducted 4 new members into the Hall of Fame earlier this week, which is sponsored by U.S. Bank. Neil McCarthy, Amber Simpson, Shirley Anku, and Simone Bach, the new inductions into the Aggie Hall of Fame. Well, right now the officials are checking something at the monitor. And Russ, these two teams are starting to get a little chippy. They're going back and forth a little bit. We've talked about Cole and McCants, and right now the official, Winston Stith, is at the monitor. He's looking at something following the most recent play.
Yeah, I don't know. I must have missed it because I see them sort of chipping at each other a little bit, but I haven't seen a cheap shot or an ugly foul or anything that makes me think that we're close to fisticuffs or anything like that.
Do you feel like the energy's been ramped up a little bit, though?
I do, and I think the Aggies have brought a new intensity on defense. They're swarming defensively, helping out and rotating. But I don't see that, you know, I think Utah Valley by nature, they've just got big, strong, physical guys. And that can, you know, they're going to try and establish their physicality while the Aggies try to establish their quickness. And maybe it's sort of at that junction that the problems are happening. But even, you know, we're not so far away here. We're not sitting at courtside like we usually do, but I'm not seeing whatever the problem was.
In normal years, a guy like Winston Stith, who is one of our favorites,
yes,
would come over and tell us what was being reviewed. There's Winston Stith right there.
Should I text him?
You could.
No,
I don't think he has his phone on him, though, Russ.
I don't have his number. But yeah, usually the referees, the WAC referees, are very good at explaining to us, the dumb announcers, what happened. Aggie's back in the zone again, it looks like.
But it looks like Roberts is face guarding Latrey Darthard on the far wing. Darthard's the best three-point shooter.
It's somewhat of a box and one, it looks like, and without Amick in there.
And clearly it has confused Utah Valley.
Well, it confused me.
Lakai's bumps. Chris Giens with a gimmick defense, and it forces all sorts of confusion for the Wolverines.
Yes, and not, certainly not what I expected.
At the line for the Aggies, number 22, Wilfred Lakai, shoot 2.
Two free throws for Wilfred Lakai.
Lakai will keep getting better. You know, the Aggies have a terrific strength training program. It used to be John Taylor for many years, but the Aggies. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
The city of Las Cruces is committed to help get Doña Ana County from red to green in the Department of Health's red to green framework. Let's help our businesses, nonprofits, schools, healthcare system, and residents get back to a more normal way of life by staying home, wearing a mask, and getting tested. Share your commitment and use red to green on social media. Foul is on C.J. Roberts. Aggie lead is 7. 8 minutes in, half 2. Roberts is still face guarding Darthard, Russ. And now Darthard's in the near corner. Do you just go away from him here if you're Utah Valley? Just don't worry about Darthard?
Well, what Lou Henson would do, what would Lou do? You run your man-to-man offense against a trick defense.
And it appears that's what Utah Valley does, and J.J. Overton.
And I'll bet this is the first time that Utah Valley this season has seen this defense. I'm not sure on that, but it's an unusual move by Chris Jans, and it's worked pretty effectively.
Hard move by Roberts. He blows the layup. It might have been altered or blocked. McClanahan to the rim. Layup no good. Fuller on the putback, and he will shoot two.
Yeah, Fuller has given the Wolverines some great minutes off the bench.
Strong move by McClanahan. The foul for Fuller. Couldn't grab it, but he will shoot two free throws when we come back from break. 43-38. Aggies ahead by a handful. 43-38 Aggies, a low-scoring game tonight. 9 minutes in, half two. It's the second game in 24 hours, and typically, Russ, if you watch the WAC this year, you'll see some changes made from Friday into Saturday. The changes have to be quick. And right now, Chris Jans is throwing different defenses at Utah Valley, which is something Mark Madsen has done to the Aggies all weekend.
It puts a different spin on things, and actually, it makes me think that if the Aggies can always bounce back in the second game, if they can just get out of the first round in the WAC tournament, they'll have a good. It's a different strategy. We'll look at Donnie Tillman go after the ball.
Jump ball possession will stay with UVU. Crazy stat. The Aggies 0-4 on Fridays in conference play, but 2-1 on Saturdays, and they have won their previous two Saturday games. Love the hustle from Donnie Tillman.
And what about the sort of the pastel shoes of? I love Evan Cole's game. I'm undecided on those pastel shoes though.
Kind of fits the Utah Valley colors. Kind of. They certainly stand out.
Well, that's not the only thing about Evan Cole that has stood out these two nights.
Overton hits a long two again, so he's starting to heat up. And J.J. Overton, the first player on either squad in double figures, he now has 10.
And we're talking about a guy that got knocked to the deck a few times yesterday.
He's doing what Jabari Rice did 2 weeks ago, and Jabari splashes in the three well beyond the line.
Yes, and when his feet are set, he's a tremendous shooter.
Rice joins Overton in double figures, a dozen for Jabari, which is 2 below his season average of 14. Overton spins it down low to Cole. The tip in for Fuller, who's provided great minutes for Mark Madsen all weekend.
Boy, they're sort of indistinguishable. They're both big and strong and aggressive and smart.
Utah Valley doing just fine without Amac on the floor. A brick on a three for Lakai. No numbers for McClanahan, so he'll slow it down. Finds Overton, leans in, floater short. Pinballs around. Cole grabs it. He's open from three. He won't shoot it though. Overton to the rim. Misses, but he's fouled on his way up.
Well, that last sequence, we have not seen that tonight. The last couple sequences where the Aggies are getting beat for loose balls, and they've had great energy and great aggression up to this point. And it would concern me if I was Chris Jans with about 10 minutes to go in the game that they seem to have lost the pop, and here he comes with wholesale substitutions. It'd be scary if I start thinking like Chris Jans, wouldn't it?
J.J. Overton will shoot two. Just the third free throw try all night for Utah Valley, which for them is not a bad thing. They're the worst free throw shooting team in the conference at 62%.
And a little bit unusual, he's about a foot and a half off the line. He doesn't go up to the line to shoot it. He steps a little bit back. You don't see that too often. Look how far back he is from the line.
What's the key to free throw shooting? What did you always tell your players?
I don't know. I wasn't a good free throw shooter. No, but I think the sort of standard advice Lou would give is to stick with your routine and do it the same way each time. See, this Aggies are getting beat to loose balls here for the first time tonight.
A lot of energy from J.J. Overton, and he will shoot two more. Kalen Williams just came in, and then he threw it away right here. Overton has great length, athleticism, size, everything, all you need in a guard.
Yeah, but that's a big no-no for Kalen Williams there. He can't let that happen again.
Overton is 6'6", 190, senior guard from San Diego. Transferred in from Saddleback College. 7 points per game last season, now 17 per game this season to lead the Wolverines. Good for third best in the WAC. Misses both, and Henry tracks it down to the corner. Different look again for Utah Valley defensively. Donnie Tillman gets Fuller in the air, attacks, and he will shoot two. So now both teams are shooting some free throws after not shooting many in the first 30 minutes of the game.
And other than Overton with 3 fouls, and one of them a technical, it doesn't seem like foul trouble shouldn't be much of a factor. Wilfred Lakai with 3, but he's back on the bench for the Aggies.
Donnie Tillman 3 for 3 on free throws. Tillman was a 4-star recruit all the way from Detroit, has bounced around in college, Utah, UNLV, and now the Aggies in his lone season at NM State. And he gets both free throws. NM State 10 for 12 on free throws. They were 11 for 20 yesterday in their 3-point loss against Utah Valley. Amax sets the ball screen. Overton splits defenders. Great verticality by Johnny McCanton. He's going to get teed up.
Well, and that was exactly the right call by Mike O'Neill. Johnny McCanton did a great job of helping, and then his emotions got the better of him, and looks like an intentional foul. And this could really change the course of the game. We missed that. We missed the. He gave him a little extra shove into the matted wall, and right in front of Mike O'Neill, the Chicago referee, son of Tommy O'Neill, one of the great refs in America.
Yeah, you would have to think this will turn into a flagrant, and it comes after such a good defensive stand, and we'll get a second look at this.
It surprises me a little. Just, Johnny's been around for a long time. It was a beautiful block. Well, it looked different from that
angle. There didn't seem like there was a whole lot.
It didn't seem that bad from that angle. But from up here, where we're sitting in the beautiful Eastwood High School gym, it looked like it might have been flagrant. But that angle didn't. Well, we'll see if we get another look at it.
The question is, was there enough? Because there was a little bit of contact, a little bit of a shove.
Well, it looked like they were holding hands.
Yeah.
That they were both involved in it. It was a beautiful block by Johnny McCann, and that I think he was fortunate that didn't get called as a foul. But watch me, he sort of snuffs him with both hands.
Was it exaggerated at the end by Overton? That's the question. Overton's kind of
they're holding hands there, and then McCann helps him fall a little bit. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to tell.
Now, Overton was falling, and it's not like Johnny McCants was trying to help his fall completely, but it did seem a little exaggerated into the padding there at the end for Overton. It looked a lot worse in live action.
But also, it looked like it could have been a 2-shot foul before any of that happened, and that might have been part of Overton's frustration. And here I wish we could hear what Winston Stith is saying. We can't read his lips. But Mike O'Neill was completely on top of that when it happened. Let's see what they...
The Utah Valley coaching staff is furious because they thought it should have been a flagrant. It is not a flagrant.
I thought it was going to get called as a flagrant. Then when we looked at the replay, it didn't look quite so bad. I know Ronnie Price, a longtime NBA player, he played for Dick Hunsaker back actually, Ronnie Price was a junior college player at Utah Valley when they were a junior college, and then made the transition. He sort of led the transition.
Now, they did call a foul on McCants, but it wasn't a flagrant, and Woodbury dips in and scores, so they still get 2 out of it.
Well, that's right. And the Aggies look like they're just, you know, caught on their heels again for the third or fourth time in the last few minutes.
McCants pops out, he catches from Rice, lost it. Scooped up by Fardaws Amac. Pass ahead to Overton, and he flips it home. Beat the Aggies down the floor.
Yeah, we don't need Johnny McCants dribbling between his legs at the top of the key. Johnny's off his game a little bit, and I wonder if it's the back and forth with Overton and Evan Cole that has rattled him.
Caleb Williams jumps to pass to Henry. Rice for three the Aggies really needed, and he misfires. Potentially some late game struggles again for the Aggies here in a tight one.
Yes, and you can feel the momentum shifting here, where things seem to be going Utah Valley's way.
Overton is fouled, and one for J.J. Overton. Momentum is on the side of the Wolverines. Aggies haven't made a field goal in nearly 3 minutes. Wolverines have made 3 straight for the field. 6-0 Wolverines run. 1 free throw for Overton when we come back. A good first half for the Aggies tonight. They led by 6 at the break. They led by 9 late in the first half. Now they trail by 2. Utah Valley has outscored Chris Jantz's squad 26-18 in this second half, and it's very similar to what we've seen in so many games this year, Russ, where the Aggies just can't sustain success, and they're a little inconsistent again.
That's right, and this is one of the things that happens when you're as successful as the Aggies have been the last few years. They've got a bullseye on their chest every time out there. And the older players, I think, understand that, and the new players are sort of bearing the brunt of it and still sort of learning.
And J.J. Overton has started to take over the game. He now has 16. Misses the free throw. He has struggled from the line, though. 2 for 5 now from the charity line. And the Aggies can tie or take a lead. Evan Gilliard is back in. He has the ball right now for the Aggies in the black in their final quote-unquote home game this year here at Eastwood High School. And Amac was tussling with Tillman down low. And the foul is called on Fardaws Amac, number 2 on him, number 6 on UVU.
He's still in pretty good shape with just 2 fouls with 7 minutes to go.
Inbound pass goes to Tillman, the redshirt senior with the left hand. He missed it short. Picked up by Rice. Jabari was smothered initially underneath. Tillman stabs, penetrates, rumbles down low, and he's fouled. And this one should be a shooting foul, so he should get 2 free throws out of it.
Yeah, the Aggies have to do something here to get this momentum sort of turned back again, as we see Donnie Tillman with a little head fake and gets to the foul line.
Tillman capitalizing on his free throws, 5 for 5 in the game. The Aggies are 11 for 13. Free throw shooting woes. They were costly yesterday when the Aggies were 11 for 20. They're 71% though for the season, which is way better than it has been in previous years. That's been one of the areas we've talked about that the Aggies have struggled in the last couple of years.
That's right, but they're shooting free throws better here. Now more zone pressure from the Aggies.
Pretty good length on the floor with Tillman, Rice, Henry, Gilliard, and McCants. Overton brings the Wolverines out of the backcourt, and he is trapped. He splits defenders. Trey Woodbury will initiate the offense with 10 to shoot. Aggies have defended Amac well. McCants won't let him touch it. Evan Cole with the ball screen. Overton, long contested 2. Misses strong, and Rice is there to snatch it in. Evan Gilliard, a transition 3. Bingo!
We've talked about this with Evan Gilliard. He seems to always be better on the move. And nice pass by Jabari Rice, finding an open Evan Gilliard on the break.
That is a big one. 12 for the young man from Chicago. Gilliard gives the Aggies a 3-point advantage. Evan Gilliard, the UTEP transfer from Chicago's Simeon High School, gives the Aggies a 3-point advantage. 53-50 Aggies with 6:41 left here in half number 2 from Eastwood High School. And Gilliard, quietly Russ, has scored 12 points in the game, 4 of 7 from the field, 2 of 3 from threes, making things happen, and he's run the offense well.
That's right, and he's been impressive with his, just sort of his court, leadership and understanding the game. He's played with 26 minutes, no turnovers in a close game.
Gilliard also had no turnovers yesterday, so no turnovers the entire weekend for Evan Gilliard, and that's the way Chris Jans wants him to play. Turnover free, run the offense, score when you can, but he's not looking for him to score 13 or 14 a game like he was at UTEP.
No, that's right, and he is a pretty darn good defender. He's quick and aggressive, and he's even grabbed a couple rebounds tonight. So he's played an all-around floor game, and he's as he should be as a 5'11" senior.
Aggies will try to make some winning plays down the stretch, which they haven't done in some games this year. Overton might have traveled, got away with it. Overton skips it to Evan Cole. Aggies going with Gilliard, Rice, Tillman, McNair, and Henry in the black. Woodbury an open 3 from the corner. Amack has rebound number 9. Skips it out to Woodbury again.
See, here's the problem with the zone: is Big Will McNair comes flying at the shooter, and now you've got the leading rebounder in America underneath the basket.
They lob it to Evan Cole, who gets behind the defense again. He's done that a few times this weekend.
Yeah, I am so impressed with Evan Cole. Despite I'm still sort of lukewarm on those sneakers, but boy, he's played great the last couple nights.
8 points for Cole in this one after 15 in game 1 this weekend. Rice kicks it outside. Tillman, a rare 3-point try. Rice, a putback, no good. Then he tips it in.
Wow.
That was Jamario Jones-esque.
Well, that's right. And just great effort by Jabari not to quit on that one. He could have hung his head after he missed the easy one, and he just went back up and got it.
Rice is at his season average now. He has 14. Jaden McClanahan turns the corner. Picks up his dribble. Tosses it outside for Woodbury. This is J.J. Overton. Finds his way in the paint again. He's so good in the mid-range. Great box out by Will McNair.
Now if Will McNair can do that.
And he ran the floor. He sprinted down the floor in front of Chris Jans. A 3 for Henry. That's an air ball. Henry's weekend struggles continue. Just 2 for 10 from beyond the arc. McClanahan to Amack. Left it shallow. Henry right there. 4.5 to go in half 2. Aggies aren't possession ahead by 3. Gilliard steps through, floats it over Amack, might have been deflected. Baseball pass ahead, deflected and stolen by Henry.
Well, Gilliard saved the day there by deflecting that pass.
And then Jabari Rice, a little bit out of control. He's tripped up. And that is foul number 8 on UVU, so it's 1-1 for Rice.
Evan Gilliard missed the shot, the sort of the running floater, but he was able to deflect that pass there. Watch him against a pretty big guy there. He deflects it. And here comes Clayton Henry. So really a heads-up play by Evan Gilliard. It's a risky thing to do when you're the guard, not to run back, to play for the steal, but it paid off for Evan Gilliard there.
At the line, Jabari Rice for
1-1 for Rice. First free throw try tonight. And he gets the friendly bounce. It's a home gym for the Aggies nonetheless.
Well, that's right. It's the beautiful Eastwood High School gym.
Final game for the Aggies in this venue on the schedule. Of course, they could always add 1 or 2, but there's been no plans of that so far. They would love to make up that UTRGV series, but the Vaqueros going through so much right now with the loss of their head coach so suddenly a few weeks ago, Lou Hill. And the Vaqueros have only played 2 conference games, so they have more to make up anyway, and we'll see how many games they get in this year.
Well, now the Aggies have gone much smaller here with C.J. Roberts and Evan Gilliard. Now they're going to have to go a swarming defense. They can't be on their heels now.
They double team Cole, and Evan Gilliard is whistled for a personal. Looking for an explanation. And it's going to send Cole to the free throw line for 1-1 when we come back. Exactly 4 minutes left. Exciting finish straight ahead from Eastwood High School. Adam Young and Russ Bradford with you. Eastwood High School in El Paso. This is a home game for the Aggies. First conference road series for Utah Valley since mid-January. Wolverines are 2-4 on the road. And that second road win came yesterday in a 3-point game, and this one could come down to one possession just like yesterday, Russ.
Yes, and it'll be interesting to see with Will McNair, Big Philly, in the game, and C.J. Roberts, who we see there. How long will Chris Jansen, will he leave them in down the stretch now with just 4 minutes to go, or will he go back with Donnie Tillman and Clayton Henry, the older, more experienced players?
This is 1-1 for Cole, and he gets the friendly bounce. First free throw tonight for the Georgia Tech grad transfer, who yesterday was 1 for 5. He is 56% for the season. And he gets 1 out of 2. But McNair can't grab it. Overton had it, and it goes out of bounds. Last touch by Will McNair.
Yeah.
He's trying out there, Russ. You can tell.
He is, but that's another big no-no. You've got to get the ball back on a missed free throw.
If you're an Aggie fan, you want to see that man do well, number 24 in black. He's putting forth the effort, that's for sure. Need to execute, though. Overton, how about that athleticism? Amac, put back no good. Tipped by Evan Cole, and let's see who they put to the free throw line. And here's your answer. Donnie Tillman's going to come back in. To your question earlier, Russ, the Aggies need some length, and Tillman's going to enter.
Well, also, it's not just Will McNair who's, as you say, is battling, but the guards are going to have to come back and help. They can't. They're going to have to. If the Aggies are going to go with a small lineup like this, the guards are going to have to rebound.
Evan Cole is a pretty good shooter for a big man. He is 6'10", 230, but he is having some big-time free throw shooting struggles, as are many Wolverines. Once again, they're only 62% as a team for the season, which is worst in the WAC. He misses again, and C.J. Roberts collects.
Thank you, C.J. Roberts.
Tillman is trapped, fighting for positioning.
He took timeout.
And Donnie Tillman gets a timeout.
And I think that was on a miss. So that was a zone trap on a miss, which is difficult to pull off, and I think that really surprised the Aggies.
If this comes down to free throw shooting, you'd have to say advantage Aggies here.
Well, and we haven't said that over the years very often. Remember when Holton Hunsaker, I think he made like 30 free throws in a row at one time for Utah Valley. They used to not be a typical Utah Valley struggle.
Speaking of free throws, Jabari Rice will head to the line for 1-1. The Aggies still in the single bonus. Rice, the best free throw shooter for the Aggies this year. 77%. Spins it off.
And the Aggies just at 27% for the half from the floor. It's been the Utah Valley defense has really picked up, and the Aggies just can't get it to go down.
They double team Amac, who goes on his tippy toes, 6'11" size, and McClanahan hits it too. Winston Stith says a two-pointer. His toes were on the line. Wolverines pull within 2. The Aggies haven't made a field goal in nearly 3 minutes. Not a good time for a scoring drought. The exchange goes to Gilliard. Back out for Tillman. Right back to Gilliard. Great look straight away. Bingo!
Well, if there's a player of the game so far for the Aggies, it's the kid from Chicago.
And that might be an early candidate for a Whataburger play of the game if the Aggies can hang on. They really needed that. McClanahan, he answers. 2 straight made jumpers. This one a triple for the Independence JUCO transfer, Jaden McClanahan.
Wow, what a game.
Gilliard with 15, Rice with 16, the 2 Aggies in double figures. Wing entry is tipped. McClanahan grabs it. And now Utah Valley can tie or take a lead with under 2 left. Need to make winning plays down the stretch.
Well, that's right. And McClanahan is doing. Oh.
Evan Gilliard thought maybe he had drawn a charge, and now he's holding his left wrist.
Which is his
shooting wrist.
Shooting hand,
yeah.
Yes. Boy, if he hadn't reached, I think, he reached, and that's, I think, probably what hurt his cause. But he took an elbow right to the throat.
He was stepped on, Russ.
Oh,
inadvertently by Woodbury.
Oh, yeah.
He was stepped on inadvertently. Woodbury did not mean anything by it. And Evan Gilliard clearly in pain. And Trey Woodbury, not the guy the Aggies want to put to the free throw line either. 5th best in the WAC. He's one of the good free throw shooters for Utah Valley, 78% this year. Has not attempted one tonight. We've had 4 ties, 5 lead changes. Wolverines can tie it right here. This looks eerily similar to last night. And we're tied at 60.
And here's the zone pressure again.
These final 2 minutes could tell you a lot about the rest of the season for the Aggies. Can they execute offensively with $1:38 left? They go to Jabari Rice, who has 16 points. Gilliard testing the wrist. Missed a 3. Pinballs around, grabbed by McClanahan.
Well, I'm surprised he put that one up there after banging his wrist.
Amack with the touch. He's only scored 2. He's only scored 8 for the weekend, and he double dribbles.
Boy, and they did not double team him there, and maybe that confused Amack because he's been double teamed time after time. Maybe he thought the double team was coming. Just sort of a young mistake. He's only a sophomore.
Which is hard to believe because he's producing so much. He's not playing like a sophomore. The Aggies break it. Tillman to the rim, and he will shoot 2 free throws.
Well, and you don't see Amack do that either. He doesn't give away fouls. That was probably an ill-advised foul on his part. I don't know if Tillman could have made it over him.
That is foul number 4 on Fardaws Amack.
And who knows? This could go into overtime. Every foul's going to matter now.
Donnie Tillman 7 for 7 from the stripe.
And every free throw is going to matter now, too.
The Aggies are 15 for 18 as a ball club. And they go ahead by 2. Not necessarily a winning play, but some winning free throws potentially for Donnie Tillman. A minute left. Great denial by Henry. That's a brush screen offensive illegal on Jaden McClanahan.
Yeah, and that's gotten called that. They're always on the lookout for that now. And so that was the correct call by Mike O'Neill. I don't think there's any question about that one.
Do you feel like the pressure there by Henry forced him into it?
Well, yeah, look at him. I mean, it's you know, you've got, if you're going to screen Henry, you better move pretty quickly. And I feel bad for McClanahan who made 3 great plays in a row.
That might have been a winning play defensively for Henry. Evan Gilliard outside for Henry. Short on his 3. Tillman was pushed, no call. He came flying in, trying to grab the rebound. Now Cole tumbles down. Rice grabs it. Evan Cole out of control. And the Aggies will head to the free throw line.
But it looks as it was a turnover by McClanahan, wasn't it? Did they call Cole for the foul there? We'll see.
Yeah, that's number 4 on McClanahan.
Well, that's the thing with college basketball. You can go for, you know, he was a hero a minute ago, but there's still plenty of time left.
Free throw shooter will be Jabari Rice. The Aggies are shooting 2 the rest of the way. Rice missed a big free throw late yesterday after he was fouled on a 3-point shot. Made the first one, missed the second one, and we think he missed the third one on purpose. But he missed 2 out of the 3.
Well, this would be a good time to make them all. I thought Chris Jans might go with Will McNair here, just for one defensive series.
Shot clock is off, by the way. The Aggies looking for their 3rd straight Saturday win. And they've extended their lead to 2 possessions. Timeout, Utah Valley. Not over yet, as you like to say, Russ, but a 64-60 lead for Jabari Rice and the Aggies. And Jabari has 18. Those were some big free throws for Rice. He's had a good floor game tonight as well.
Well, and I wonder if the Aggies, my question now is, will the Aggies double team, Amac if he gets the ball down low? And I'm going to guess they don't. And I've wondered even if they would just foul Amac at this point. If he does get it down low and he's too close to the basket, just go ahead and foul him instead of, because I'll tell you, he's a really good passer. Now, as you pointed out, the Utah Valley is not the best 3-point shooting team in the country, but at this point, a three-pointer could be really damaging. And I wonder if they'll just go ahead and foul Amac.
Rice 6 for 13 for the field, 2 of 5 from 3, 4 of 5 on free throws, and those were huge free throws.
My idea, that's I don't know. It's a little gimmicky. You don't see Chris Jans going with, although he went with the gimmick defense, the box and one for a couple possessions. Let's see what he does here when Amac gets the ball down low. If Amac gets the ball down low. And here's Johnny McCants giving away about 4 inches. He'll have to
Trey Woodbury lobbing to the rim. A floater no good. Rebound for Gilliard. He had Tillman. He's trying to dribble it out. I agree with you, Russ, but I think Evan Gilliard in the back of his head is saying that might be a little risky.
You're probably right. I think he has great confidence in his floor generalship, and I think he just felt it was safer to hold on to it at that point.
And Gilliard did take a few more seconds off the clock by holding on to it. He had a couple of his teammates straight ahead, and now Gilliard will shoot 2. 74% free throw shooter. Gilliard approaching the 1,000-point plateau. He had 911 career points before tonight. He has scored 15 in this game.
Well, and if Evan Gilliard's going to hold the ball and get fouled, he's got to make the free throw. He's got to make the free throws to make it pay off. But boy, what a great game he's had tonight. And that one sure looked good. Aggies up 5. Now I like this. They're going to a little token pressure to just take a little bit of time off the clock.
Wolverines taking some time. Woodbury has to rush a 3. Rice collects the rebound. He's fouled by Cole. Johnny McCants goes tumbling down. He might have injured his ankle. Bodies have been flying everywhere tonight. We had Evan Gilliard get stepped on a few minutes ago, and I'm not exactly sure what happened there with Johnny McCants, who's already battling numerous injuries.
You know, I don't know if do we go with Will McNair here? Just if McCants can't, well, it's 7 seconds left, but if McCants is having trouble walking, I don't understand the point. It looks like they're going to go C.J. Roberts and just get a faster, good free throw shooting team in there.
Yeah, hard to really tell exactly what happened there with Johnny McCants. First free throw was good for Jabari Rice, by the way.
And gutsy shot by Trey Woodbury. It didn't go down, but boy, my heart sunk. I thought, boy, he's going to make that one. And he's fully capable of doing it, of course.
20 points for Jabari Rice. The Aggies lead by 7. Ball goes into McClanahan with 4 seconds left. Hands it off to Overton. He will trigger a 3, and that will do it. 67-60, the third straight Saturday win for Chris Janz's ball club, Russ.
Yes, and a nice, good sign that they can keep getting knocked down, but they keep bouncing back.
They made some winning plays down the stretch.
I just saw Chris Jans smile. Did you see that?
I did not see that.
All right, well, let's run it back. And Johnny McCants, he's limping a little bit, but not so bad.
Well, it was 60-60. The Aggies scored the final 7 points in the game in the final 104, so that's a really good sign as they finish strong here tonight and they collect their third conference win while the Wolverines fall to 6-3 in the WAC. Chris Jans joining us. Coach Adam and Russ up here with you. 67-60 final score. You finished the game on a 7-0 run. Did you see some winning plays down the stretch from your team?
We did. You know, 2 nights in a row came down to a possession or 2, which hopefully will help us down the road. It was nice to get some late game situations. Certainly you don't want it to be close, but when it is, you're always curious to see how we execute. So that'll hopefully bode well for us in the future.
Coach, I thought Evan Gilliard was terrific tonight. 2 games in a row without a turnover. I was really impressed by him. Can you talk about Evan Gilliard?
Yeah, that's impressive. As you well know, Russ, we've been trying to transform him to a scoring guard to a scoring point guard, and you know we want him to score because he can score. We'll never try to take that away from him, but we try to get him to be a quarterback at the same time, value the ball, put the pieces in the right position, and play good defense. And he's really come on the last couple weeks. You know, I'm really proud of him, how he's transformed his game, and when he plays like that, we're a lot better.
Coach, you talked last night post-game about the team not following the game plan and some structures down the stretch last night. Did you feel like they followed the game plan well tonight?
You know, first glance, our ball screen defense was much better. We were on top of it. That's on me as much as it on them. I had all week to prepare for them, and you know, again, we didn't change anything that we did on Friday night to Saturday night, except we got a little bit of different coverage when the ball went in the post there late. We decided to change it late, and they burned us. Number 10, who I don't think has made many threes all year long and doesn't shoot a good percentage, just stepped up and made 2 really big shots, one a long 2 and a 3 that, you know, that got them back in the game, and that was the coverage that I called, and it didn't work out. But our ball screen coverage, and then just guarding the ball out front. You know, we had a bunch of breakdowns last night, and we certainly rallied the troops, and they were much better tonight.
And Coach, your teams are always known for their defensive intensity, but also tonight I noticed that you're playing a little cat and mouse game with Amac, where you'd go double team him sometimes, and then a crucial time down the stretch he double dribbled. I think he was expecting the double team, and I think you sort of rattled him there.
You know, we did something right, Russ, for once. I know it's not very often, but we did give him some different looks down the stretch, hoping that we could catch him off guard. He's a really good player. I mean, he's a good player. He's mobile. If you play him one-on-one too much, he's just going to back you down and shoot point-blank layups or get to the foul line. Then obviously he's unbelievable on the glass, but I'm glad that worked out.
Coach, is that a Lou Henson patch on your polo shirt?
It is. It is.
Well, you've earned it.
I thought this was a really good game for me to channel some Coach Henson, and we needed some guys from the yesteryear to really help us. So I was proud to wear it.
That's really cool. Coach, thanks so much for the time as always.
All right, guys. Thanks.
That's Aggie head coach Chris Jans, Lou Henson, the great Lou Henson, who Russ Bradford coached with for the Aggies, helping the Aggies from above here tonight. 67-60 the final. New Credit Union postgame show comes up next.